This is Thomas Schiffer on day 2 of the MLG Spring Championships. I am joined by Axeltoss, official caster for MLG. Axeltoss, how you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Saturday is one of the longest days, but one of my favorite days. A lot of upsets happen, and a lot of games happen, which produce a lot of awesome StarCraft 2.
Speaking of the games and stuff like that, what do you think of the event so far? How has it been for you?
It's fantastic. Just the number of people here is actually staggering, and it's one of those events where it's like, if you show up, like, it's the event that you tell people about, like, why you go to an event. Like, just the number of people and the number of just fans watching the games, and obviously the production quality, the level of games. It's all just so amazing.
Well, a lot of people in the community, especially the StarCraft 2 community, were kind of apprehensive with the lack of a player pool, and they thought, the player pool wasn't so good. What do you think about that? Do you think that it was justified? Or?
Oh, I never actually heard those comments, but I think as far as StarCraft 2 is concerned, we have like a lot of really good players here. We have Jadon, we have the 3 guys coming over from Pro League, Stats, Deer, and Sue. They're all pretty darn phenomenal at StarCraft 2. And then we have a nice, healthy amount of non-Koreans participating, like Grubby, Naniwa, Huck, players like that who all have a good chance of making a run in the tournament. So I think it's a really cool diversity of players in the lineup.
Absolutely. So what are the best games you've casted so far, up to date?
Best games. I would say the Suppy match against Polt. That was a pretty exciting series. Then, of course, QXC versus Deer. And obviously, I talked to QXC a little bit beforehand, and he wasn't too confident with his chances. But I'm like, QXC, I believe in you, go win. And then he won the first game. So I'm like, oh, yeah. But then he went on to lose 2 in a row. So that was a really awesome match. If QXC had won that, oh, my God, the crowd would have been – I can't even try to imagine what would have happened.
Crowd was pretty electric, even before the games.
Like, after game 1, it was –
the USA chant was there.
Oh, it was ridiculous. But those are probably my 2 favorite matches.
And so, you're talking a little bit about the non-Korean players who are in the bracket and stuff like that. Have there really been any result or any player that has surprised you coming out of the open bracket?
As far as surprising me by doing bad or by doing good?
By doing good, like maybe creating an upset or something.
Suppy taking out to Muslim, I think that was a pretty awesome result for him. I think a lot of people weren't necessarily expecting that, so that was really cool. But then again, Suppy went on to lose, of course, to Polt, but again, no shame there. But, Naniwa doing he hasn't dropped a game yet, which is pretty phenomenal, so we'll have to see what he does going into Sunday. But no, nothing really jumps out in my mind. Pretty standard results across the board, I think.
All right. So who's your pick to win the entire tournament right now?
Oh, pick to win. I could be safe and say one of the Koreans, but honestly, I want to see the most story. So I'd like to see at least one non-Korean try to push himself into the top 4, really make a really exciting Sunday. That would make me really happy. But as far as who's going to win, I got to say, probably Deer. I think Deer he's absolutely on another level. He's destroying people left and right. Now, QXC took a game off of him.
Right.
So it's certainly possible that he'll lose, but he's looking really strong. So I got to say one of the Pro League guys probably has the best chance to win it.
So there's a plethora of casters here.
Yeah.
I mean, we got DJ Wheat, Day 9, Total Biscuit, Axlav. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. I think
Me.
that's it. I'm interviewing you, so I thought that was implied.
Well played.
Who is your favorite caster to cast with at the moment? Who do you think you really have a great chemistry with?
Obviously, Axeltoss is great. We've been working together for a very long time. But that doesn't mean I don't like branching out and casting with other people. I mean, more variety, the better for me, at least. It's fun to really interact with a bunch of different casters and really play off each other differently. And I feel like I can play both roles. I can be the play-by-play guy, like I generally do with Axeltoss, but I also love just really diving into strategy and really losing myself in the strategy of the game and being really excited by that stuff, which I can really do with the play-by-play caster, like Wheat or Total Biscuit. So honestly, there's different reasons why I like casting with everyone. I don't really have a favorite. It's just the best experience for me, the most fun is really seeing what I can do with all these different casters and seeing how I can change up my style, of course, for the benefit of the audience, hopefully.
Yeah. So generally, what's your favorite matchup to cast? What do you see coming up?
It's changing every day, really. Heart of the Swarm is just awesome. Again, nobody has the metagame nailed down. So many different things are happening that everything is changing so much. A part of me is wanting to compare the difference between Wings Liberty and Heart of the Swarm as far as which matchups have kind of changed as far as my favorite to watch. And I feel like the mirror matchups are all getting so much better in Heart of the Swarm. And I might have to say ZVZ has been like the biggest turnaround as far as for me personally between Wings Liberty and Heart of the Swarm as far as my favorite to cast. So that might be my my answer, just based on the difference in my appreciation for the matchup and just losing myself in the matchup between Wings Liberty and Heart of the Storm being ZVZ.
All right. Well, earlier today we interviewed the STC,
Okay.
and he was commenting on balance of the game overall.
Okay.
As a Terran player, he said, especially in TVT, he thought it was kind of ridiculous how you were forced into doing like Hellbat drops.
Okay.
And so, there's been a lot of outcry over the community about Hellbats. What do you think that makes? Do you think that Hellbats are creating like a more of an exciting thing for the audience, or do you think that they could use some work, or?
It's so unforgiving. I mean, if 2 Hellbats drop in your middle land and you're like a second late in reacting, you can find yourself losing your entire economy or a big bulk of your economy and subsequently the game, or falling behind against some of the best players in the world. And if you fall a little bit behind, it's not going to be fun at all moving forward. So obviously there's an element of that with the Hellbat. I'm not saying it should be changed. I'm not saying it's balanced or not, but it's definitely one of the most tricky parts of StarCraft 2 right now as far as correctly responding to the Hellbat play and identifying it in time. How many people have you talked to about that?
Oh, well, just the STC so far, but
I'd be interested to get back to me on that.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what the pros say. For me personally, I'm not going to say, oh, go change something, but I certainly have opinions on the matter. And I'm not going to say the Hellbat is too strong, but it definitely is very tough to deal with.
All right, well, we only have a few more questions for
Okay.
you. WCS is moving to NASL.
Mm-hmm.
And it's moving away from MLG.
Yep.
You guys produced Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Can you comment on that move at all, or was that a surprise for you guys to hear about that? Or
Was it a surprise? I don't know. Like, obviously you read all the community sites and you're seeing what people are saying. It certainly caught me off guard. Obviously I love casting, the best games out there, and that's what I consider WCS America. I had, the best time in the world doing it. So yeah, of course I'm a little sad to see it go, but, as a company, it was the best business decision for MLG, so I don't fault them for a bit. I'm certainly happy to, remain with MLG and keep doing what they asked me to do, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, a little bit sad to see it go. Because again, it's like the best players, and they all get to come to New York City, get to hang out with them, and to get to cast, again, just some super high-level play. But no, MLG going forward, I'm just going to, buckle down and look to see what kind of content we can try to get out there to fill any empty space and to really still have some presence in the StarCraft stuff. Because, obviously I love StarCraft, and even though, WCS is gone, that doesn't mean we can't, continue to try to do StarCraft stuff. And so going forward, definitely going to, be really thinking hard because, I love StarCraft and I want to do it for the rest of my life. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's MLG's plans moving forward? Are we going to have more events like this one at Anaheim where it's just like throw a whole bunch of players into a bracket, or are we going to see something more structured maybe come August, September?
I know a lot of brainstorming is happening right now. Obviously, like, MLG live events are the best thing ever. So I don't think StarCraft 2 is going to go anywhere as far as live events are concerned, as far as I know. So yeah, going forward, those are going to be awesome. And of course, me and Nick, we're in New York, we're at the offices, we're going to have something to do. So we're definitely going to try to come up with as much content as possible. And we're definitely not, at least I don't think that we're stopping with StarCraft 2 anytime soon. All
right, well, that's excellent news to hear. That's all the questions I have for you today.
Cool.
Axeltoss, so go ahead and give any shout-outs or thank yous.
Yeah, thanks to you for interviewing me. ESFI is pretty awesome. And, tune in to MLG. It's a lot of fun casting StarCraft 2, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, at Axeltoss. I do have a personal stream that I've been using recently, twitch.tv/Axeltoss. But that's about it. Thanks to MLG, my company, for being awesome and having these ridiculously cool events. It's always an honor to be a part of it.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.